Okay, guys and gals, about 10 seconds of the obligatory disclaimer. If you want to read the whole thing, just pause the video. Let's take a look and see what's going on in the marketplace today. We are going to cover the S&P 500 futures, or just S&P 500. I'm also going to cover in this video the Canadian dollar, because you're going to see in this video how I made a nice little profit off the Canadian currency futures today. And I still think there's more to come in that as well. Okay. And I might touch on options on futures and why we would trade those over, let's say, the SPDR, the SPY. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is the shameless plug for if you want to become a member to my service, which includes videos like this. I'll put out a nightly email to all my members. Okay, you also get access to the Discord server, and I'm on there pretty much every day, 4 or 5 days a week, and sometimes on Sunday nights before the futures open. Okay, so you see in front of you there is an image. Okay, you just go down to the bottom of this video. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, subscribe first, because I think you have to be a subscriber. Then you click that join button that you can see right there in the picture. It's $5.99. Okay, it's crazy cheap. I mean, it's just dirt cheap. Okay, I haven't raised the price in a long time because I know people are dealing with inflation and all this other stuff. So you're getting a price that's super duper low price. Okay, $5.99. All right. Also, I'll put a picture up too of my new website right here, and this website's still being worked on, so just be patient with me as I continue to work on it. I'm a software developer as my day job, so when I get to my spare time, I work on this site. But go to this site, getischarts.com. There's free registration there. Okay, eventually I'm going to move all the membership off of YouTube. Okay, and all the members are going to be moved over to the new site, and there's going to be a lot better membership benefits by going to the website, okay? Because I can offer products and all kinds of things that's really going to help traders, okay? All right, so now that we've gotten past that part, let's get back to the video. Let's talk about the S&P 500 futures, or just otherwise known as S&P 500, okay? So today was a big red day. It's this day right there, okay? Huge day. I think the range was almost 90 points, 89.75, okay? I talked, if you didn't watch yesterday's video or the previous couple videos, but particularly yesterday's video, go back and watch it on my YouTube channel. Okay, and I talked about how this was most likely going to roll over down into this February 5-8 cycle low right here. Okay, that's this big purple cycle and the green cycle. Okay. And sure enough, today was this monster candlestick. I had more than one member tell me today they made some serious bank on my analysis. Okay, I'm not trying to break my arm by patting myself on the back. I'm just putting it out there that we did, or I should say I did, predict that the market was going to do this. Okay, for a lot of different data elements that helped out in coming to this conclusion that we're going to have this big pullback in the market. So what do I think is going to happen from here? You can already see that right here on this little candlestick, that's the futures have already opened up. Because for those that don't know about futures, they pretty much trade 23 hours a day, 5 days a week. Okay, so the futures, which right now it's what time is it here? I'm in Texas. It is a little after 7 p.m. and you can see futures are trading. Okay, so I believe we're going to continue to see this S&P 500 decline significantly. So the first test is this 50-day moving average, 3942. Well, you can see it's sitting right on top of it, right? 3940. Honestly, it has no chance of holding up the market. There's no, okay, I shouldn't say no chance, but it is minimal that the market's going to bounce up like this and like take out this trend line right here. At least not in the next day or two. It's just low probability. Okay. I said in the last video that if this price broke above this upper trend line, which goes all the way back to January of 2022, that way. Okay. I said if it broke above that and it got up to 4110, which is the previous cycle's high over here, If it got near that or above that or even hit it, then the decline into this February 5, 8, 5th through the 8th decline in this cycle low here would be shallow, meaning I didn't think it was going to get below, let's say, 3,600, somewhere right around here. Okay. But it got totally rejected off this upper trend line in a big way, right? Stone cold rejection. And now I think the 50-day moving average doesn't stand a chance, and neither does this lower trend line. I think it's going to come down here. Sure, it might hold up here. It might even hold up here for a day or two. I don't know. It might just blow right through it. It doesn't really matter. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, it's going to go through this lower trend line too. It's just a question of when. Because we are on January 19th. Okay, so there's a possibility it could come down into here. And I'm going to give it to you right now what I'm talking about. We've got... Follow me on this green cycle right here. The middle of that cycle is like right there. Then you got this little yellow cycle, and it's right there, right in the middle. What are those dates? This one is January 23rd, and that one is January 27th. So they're really close. Why is that a big deal? Because price tends to stall or come down when we get to the middle of cycles, okay? So since we're really close, because today's already the 19th, right? And this is going to be January 23rd right here. And sorry about that, squiggly looking 3. This is the 27th. There's not a whole lot of room between these two midpoint ways in the cycle. So the market could come down some more. It might try to get a little bounce. It could even be above the 50-day, below it, doesn't really matter. I don't think it's going to do much. Even if there is a bounce there, there may not be any bounce at all. Okay, and then it's going to, when we get into the last week of January, past the 27th, on this side of the 27th, I think we're going to get bombs away, okay? It could even happen sooner than that. Right, so there's a couple scenarios there, but either way, I don't think we're going to bounce all the way back up to this upper trend line, which it could happen, but I don't think it will, and it's even less of a chance we're going to get anywhere near the 4110. Okay, and that's all a pretty big deal, because that tells me that if this stays true and it stays below this lower trend line, especially if it comes down and takes out this upper trend line, if it comes down and takes out this lower trend line, then this February 5th through 8th cycle low, and it could extend, could come out over here, into the, and not really get to the bottom of the low, but I think it's going to begin real soon, like somewhere around there. It tells me that this cycle low we're going to hit is going to be pretty deep. That's what that tells me. So let's talk about, for those that like to trade options, because I have members that are, they like to bug me about about options. Okay, I trade mostly futures, but today I actually traded an option just to chime in. Okay, I used to trade options a lot back in the day, but nowadays I trade mostly futures or options on futures. Okay, but anyway, here for you options traders, these are called natural support points. They're not done through Fibo. No Fibonacci. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just not as accurate. Here's a natural support point, 37.88. Here's another one, 37.04. You can see it's pulling off of where? Bottom of candlestick runs. Bottom of candlestick runs. 37.80. Same thing, bottom of the candlestick run. Okay, and it's hard to see in this video, but there's a little lower wick right here. That's last year's low back in October, 35.02. Okay, that's what that is, 35.02. So there you go. For your options traders, those are kind of your support areas. If you want to take on little risk, there you are. More risk, even more. You got it? Everybody understand? Right. Okay. So that's my take on the S&P 500 and where I think things are headed. Now let me just add in a couple other studies that I hid so that the candlestick chart was clear. But I'm going to add these back in so we can just talk about this briefly, and then I'll move on to the Canadian dollar. All right, that one's already showing, so I don't have to do with that. Apply all this, bing, bang, bong. Okay. Big Daddy. Earlier today, there was temporarily, just like for a few moments, there was a divergence dot like you're seeing here, and like you see there. It showed up for just a little bit on the micros instead of the minis, and then they disappeared. That's okay. It's common. That happens. All right, no big deal. But that's important because look at this. This rolled over really hard. This rolled over really hard. Look at the MACD. What's it starting to do? Look at that. Yep, pinching together. good chance it's going to roll over and go below the purple line, the 0 line. Okay. Now let's take a look. Just keep an eye on the certainty rate down there. This is certainty rate. Okay. And even the universe. Let's talk about the universe first. Look how it peaked up right here and starting to roll back over. This is a big event, guys. Huge event. I can't even begin to tell you how big of an event that is for this to move this big. This is the highest universe rate we've had in like over a year. Okay, got up to 667. That is a monster number. Now, what's not being shown on this chart is the certainty rate. Let me see if I can get this to play nice. No, that's okay. The certainty rate over the weekend, because I get this data comes in over the weekend as well. Okay, but this got up to like 22.8 over the weekend. I think it was like 22.8, even 30. Those are supposed to be 2s, not Z's. I think it even got over to 30 like on Saturday, and then Sunday was 22. Okay, so it doesn't show up on the chart obviously because this chart only shows trading days, not weekend days. But when I saw these numbers coming for the certainty rate, which those are pretty big numbers, I knew that the chance of the market pulling back was really high. And I told my members, for those that stay on the Discord server, I told them there's a really high chance that we're going to pull back. I also put it in the video that I put out yesterday or the day before. I talked about all this. All right, sure enough, it happened. We get this big pullback. And I think we're going to see the universe rate begin to come down a little bit. And today's certainty rate, or the one that was on this candlestick right there, is actually 0. You can see it if you pay attention to this right there. As I hover over the candlestick, it's 0. So we went from 30 and 22, and then I think it was 11 yesterday. Yeah, 11.7. Okay. Yeah, that was Friday. 11.9 was on Friday. Then yesterday was 11.7. But between Friday and Monday, like I said, was 30 and 22. And then today we got 0. So why is that a big deal? Because when we go from elevated numbers like this down to 0 all in one day, that means that the change, this is forecasting, right? For those that are not like catching on, the certainty rate in the universe are forecasting the future. They're not reacting to what the market does. They're forecasting the future. Just like this cycle right here is forecasting that we're going to have a low down into there, right? On this channel, the way I trade, we forecast the future. We forecast what the market's going to do. I've had people tell me, no one can forecast the market. Yeah? Then why did I forecast this big down day? And why did a lot of my members make good bank today? I had one guy tell me he made, I won't mention any names, but I think he made over $1,400 today trading options. Okay? Because he knew this was coming, because he's a member. And he's probably a good trader too. So I love it to hear about members on the Discord server making bank. That's great. That's what we want. Okay? Otherwise, what's the point of the service if it's not going to help you out, right? So big deal on that, to go from high certainty rate down to 0. That forecasted there was going to be a big change. And then once we get to 0 on the certainty rate after something like 33 and 22, and then down to 0 pretty quick, that tells me that the change of direction is cemented in, at least for a little while, until we see some behavior change. Okay? In all the data. All right. So I just wanted to show you these other indicators and kind of how I go about my methodology in addition to just using cycles. Okay, I also use some other indicators here. Some of them are my own indicators, like, the certainty rate and the universe, okay, and the Big Daddy. Okay. All right, so that's it for the S&P 500. That's what I think is going to happen. It doesn't matter whether we get a little bounce above, below the next day or two, or even throughout this week you get a little bounce. I don't think it makes any difference, guys and gals. This thing is coming down one way or the other. I think we're going to get a big decline. At bare minimum, I think we're going to take out the 37.88, and that's probably the absolute bare minimum. Okay, it's probably going to come down. Like I said, if it stays below this trend line here and gets below the 50-day, and particularly below this one, and stays below that all the way through the end of next week, let's say, yeah, this is going to get pretty deep. I think we'll break below 3,500 even. All right. Let's see. Let's move on to the Canadian dollar, and then I'll talk about some options on futures just briefly and the advantage to that. Okay, so let me switch over to the Canadian dollar. Let's see if I can remember. We could do 6C or M. Let's do 6C. Yeah, it's fine. This will work. I'm trading this product right now, and why would I trade it? Because the Big Daddy Forecaster, look at this, divergence dot. I talked about this in the last video. I'm going to talk about it here briefly. Look over here. When the dots showed up on the Big Daddy Forecaster, what happened to this Canadian dollar futures? Bombs away. We're going to get the same thing here. Bombs away. A bare minimum, we're going to come down to 731. Right now it's trading at 74055. I have, I think, 5 contracts on this, but I have the micro, which is MCD on TD Ameritrade. I don't know. It's weird. It used to be M6C, but they changed it, and now it's this. Okay. So this is a big deal. This is almost like a shoe-in. Okay, nothing's guaranteed. Okay, I'm only giving my opinion in this video. I don't give financial advice. Okay, be a smart trader. Make sure you got risk management in place. But there's really good high chance this is going to drop down all the way through here, which you see I have February 8th here. Pretty much this first week of February is a big deal, guys. It's just shown up everywhere. On weekly charts, daily charts. So this I think is going to come down quite a bit, at least to 731. And I'm not super familiar with this particular futures product, so I'm a little bit cautious about how far it's going to go. But I think it'll at least get down to this natural support point. So like I said, I'm short on this on the micros, and I made a nice bank today on this. Let me put that up on the screen just real quick to show you how I made it about 350 bucks. Okay, I think it. So you can see here the profit I made, and actually I made a little bit more than this. I re-entered for another position and made like another 20 or 30 bucks. And right now I have, I think, 5 contracts still running on this particular product. Okay, so just want to show that real quick. Nice little product. You can trade the big contract, like I said, the 6C, which you see here, or you can trade the MCD for the futures. Okay. All right. Again, this product is going to make bank, guys. And if for those that have really small accounts, this product is super cheap on futures. So if you don't have a futures account, talk to your broker. On TD Ameritrade, the initial margin is only $167. Okay, I had another member today tell me they made $100 on this. I think they held a position for a few days and sweated out this chunky chunk sideways stuff, and they may have made more. But one member shared with me they made $100. Okay, probably small account or just being cautious. That's great, man. Got one member telling me they're making $1,400. Another member telling me they're making $100 on different products. People are making bank, and that's great. I want to hear that. That's good stuff. For your members that are watching the video, don't be afraid to share that with me because it's really good. It encouraged me to help continue to put out a good service for all the members. Okay. I had another member that I know, and again, not going to mention any names because I don't give out private information, but I know one member has been making thousands and tens of thousands. I think they made like $15,000 or $25,000 on some options on the big on the E-mini S&P 500 contracts, and this particular person makes a lot of bank, which is really awesome. So the members are varied. You got some big accounts, some medium accounts like mine, and you got some small accounts. Okay, so there's all kinds of people. Okay, join the membership. It's really worth it. All right, let's move on to the last thing I want to talk about is the futures. Options on futures. Okay, so here we are. This is the E-micro S&P 500 futures, but you could also do this for, ES, the futures. Okay, and you can see that here I think I've got 2 contracts, 2 option contracts on the futures. All right, you can see here I got the option chain opened up for March. Okay, I'm not going to dive into which strike price I pulled and all that because that's you can learn that on a million other videos. Okay, the point I'm trying to make about options on futures, why are futures and option on futures better than the spider? Because remember I talked about that at the beginning of the video. Well, there's a lot of reasons. First of all, you get a big tax advantage, and yes, it matters at the end of the year. If you're trading the futures or the options on futures, you get a 60-40 tax advantage. Look that up when you get a chance. You're going to save a lot of money on taxes by trading the futures rather than the SPY. SPY, I'm just going to say it. Bad. At least not as good as ES or MES because of the 60/40 tax rule. Okay, you get taxed higher on this product than you do on this. Okay. The other good reason why you want to be trading either the big contracts, what they call E-minis, or the micros, okay, or the futures, or the options on the futures, because there's advantages to doing that too. Okay, and that is you don't have a day trading pattern. Pattern day trading, PDT, I think it's called. Okay, there is no day trading rule on futures. Doesn't exist. Okay. So what does that mean? That means you can trade these futures as much as you want all day long and not run into day trading patterns. So for those guys, you guys and gals out there that have accounts below 25K, because almost all brokers, I think, are required by the SEC, if you are a day trader, you have to not violate the day trading pattern day trading, whatever. You got to have 25K or higher in your account. Well, a lot of people don't have that kind of money, small accounts. So you could trade the futures. You could trade the micros if you have a really, really small account. Okay. And if you trade the options against the futures, which yes, you can do that in the micros too, because I do that. Okay, just did that today. I took 2 long puts, okay, on this product right there. Okay. A lot of times I just trade the futures, but you can also trade the options on this, and generally speaking, you're going to pay less. It depends, but generally speaking, you're going to pay less to trade options against the future than you are if you buy the futures straight out, because the initial margin on the future is going to be higher usually than the price for trading options. Now, I'm not going to dive into the big. There are some disadvantages to options that I don't like, especially the big one is decay. It's always working against you. Okay. So in my mind, if you're having options that you're going to hold it for just a few days or whatever, then no problem. You're going to easily overcome the decay as long as the market's moving in your favor. Options are a great way to go. But if you have to hold options for a long period of time and you're kind of getting near your expiration, that's ugly. That's one of the reasons why I don't like options as much as futures. But there are advantages to options if the market's going to be moving kind of quick over a period of a few days, okay? All right, so there you have it. That's why we want to be trading futures instead of the spider, or we want to be trading options on the futures instead of the spider. These are just one of 2 big advantages: taxes and no day trading pattern rule. All right, so check with your broker. If you don't have a futures account, check with them. I know TD Ameritrade. I just had a member today who I think they said they had a retirement account, an IRA, and I'm almost positive, but from what I saw, the TD Ameritrade will allow you to trade futures in your IRA account. So there you go. For you guys and gals that have IRA accounts, you can do it. All right. Okay. That's it. Again, go over to my website. I'll put it up here on the screen. Go to getischarts.com. Make sure you register. The registration's for free. When I get the site fully up and running, it'll be integrated with the Discord server. You'll be able to pay for the $5.99 membership over there at the site when I get it all up and running. For now, if you want to become a member, you can do it right below this video. As I showed earlier in this video, just click the join button, pay the $5.99, and you become a member, okay? Leave a comment in one of the member-only videos, and I'll give you the link to the Discord server. All right, and I'll give you a link to the video that shows you how to make sure you get it all integrated and get onto the server properly. All right. Okay, hope you all enjoyed the video. Talk to you all real soon again next time.